I'm gonna be honest, guys. Even though I thought The Walking Dead had a really good premiere this weekend, I enjoy shows like The Flash a little bit more. Just because they don't make me nervous while I'm watching it. They make me laugh, they make me smile, and they make me have a good time for the rest of my night. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about The Flash, Season 3, Episode 4, The New Rogues. And this introduces us to two new Rogue members who we'll see again one day and maybe even grow their Rogue gallery. So we can finally see the Rogues that they were meant to be, and something that I really liked in the beginning of this episode is we got to see Wentworth Miller return as Captain Cold, aka Leonard Snart, who was a main cast member on Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, but unfortunately he died. It seems like Barry doesn't know about that yet. It seems like he just found out in this episode that Leonard went on this mission somewhere through time from Oliver. So Oliver got a little shout out today, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was great seeing Wentworth Miller again, and I'm curious on how because we know he's still going to have a presence in these DC TV shows, or at least Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. So I'm curious on how he'll return to those other two shows. I think with Legends, we can safely presume that he will, because he's supposed to be part of the Legion of Doom. So I'm guessing time travel will come into play on that aspect. But I am curious if we'll see him more on The Flash, or maybe how will he appear on Arrow, because he's never had any direct confrontation with Oliver in the past. So but for what it was worth here, I thought it worked nicely, tying him into these new Rogue members by showing what happened the night the particle accelerator exploded from Season 1. So that was a really nice way, and I really thought it was cool bringing in Mirror Master and the Top. The Top, who's usually a male in the comics and in other interpretations, animated and so forth, was a female in this version. And I thought she was all right. I thought she was I liked that her power was more distorting things. I guess that's the only way you could bring that character, because the powers, I don't even know if the Top had powers. I'm not too familiar with that character. I know I've seen him in the Flashpoint Paradox animated film, but he didn't even speak in that movie, and he just threw like tops at the Flash, spinning tops. So maybe that's why they had to change the ability of that character. Mirror Master was more or less the same as I've seen in animated versions, as well as the 90s Flash show. The character also appeared there as a different actor portraying him, but I really thought he was a villain that I really wanted to see since Season 1 of The Flash. So I'm finally glad they got to bring him in. Hopefully we get to see these two villains return one day, like I said, and hopefully build more of the Rogues. I felt they were kind of defeated too easily at the end there, but at least Barry used his brain to defeat them. That's what I really liked about that. I also really enjoyed some of my favorite parts of this episode was surprisingly the relationship between Iris and Barry. I really thought that relationship really gelled really well together, and it had me thinking throughout the entire episode. Flash has broken the code. This is literally the first time I can think of. I mean, I'm sure Smallville had some nice moments between Lois and Clark, but they managed to do an episode without getting soap opera-y. Like, Iris was kind of mad at Barry or annoyed with Barry. I really like the relationship between the two, and I really like how she dealt with Barry's embarrassment of kissing her in front of Joe. And Joe looks like he's starting to form a little love interest, but he's kind of like shying away from it. Maybe he's still hurt from his previous relationship with Iris's mom that we met last season. Maybe he's still kind of hurt by the way she went out, that he's maybe a little intimidated to go into a new relationship. Who knows when the last time Joe was in a relationship? But I liked seeing his interaction as well with Barry and Iris, and how he was handling that as well. I'm surprised Barry didn't actually give Joe advice on, going after that character that he seemed to have a little interest in, but whatever. But yeah, the Joe, Barry, and Iris moments I thought were the highlight of this episode. It had me laughing at times. I thought it was really enjoyable, and I hope it continues this way. I hope the writers continue to find ways to do this relationship in this factor without having to add drama, like the soap opera drama that we dread, that ruined Olicity, that, kind of was annoying with Laurel and Oliver back in season 1. We don't need that kind of drama in this show. The drama that should stick with us is the superhero drama. That's the drama, what the hero has to face with the consequences of his actions, or the villain, the drama that the villain causes of the story, not the girlfriend. Because when the girlfriend gets in the hero's way, that's what turns us off on that character. So it seems like the writers are listening. If they're watching my reviews, it seems like they're, because I've been saying that since season 2 for sure, that's the kind of drama they have to stay away from, and it seems like they're listening to that. I also like some of the interaction between Wally and Jesse. Jesse, still training with Barry, and her and Wally are kind of having a little fling together. But Wally was kind of like pushing back a little bit. I don't know if I feel right going in this direction with you, because you're going to be going home soon. It's like, but then at the end of it, he was like, whatever. I think they have good chemistry there, so I would like to see Jesse return in some fashion to pursue that relationship. Something that I was really surprised about in the episode was Harrison Wells. He decided to, let's get another Harrison Wells from another Earth to come in here. And I thought that was an interesting way of looking at things, until he started seeming a little, jealous that when they found the Harrison Wells that's going to take his place, he seemed a little, jealous about that. And seemed like maybe he was going to change his mind and be like, you know what, maybe I better stay on this Earth. I am very curious to see what they're going to do with this new Harrison Wells. I thought this was a way of allowing Tom Cavanagh to play something else instead of the same Harrison Wells from last season, who was very different from the Harrison Wells that we knew back in season 1. So are they always going to be changing the Harrison Wells character from another, like maybe next season we're going to get in? There were some interesting Harrison Wells from other Earths. I'm going to say that much. I wouldn't have minded the mime one coming into this Earth and hanging out with Team Flash. I thought that had me chuckle, the idea a little bit of it. But it's going to be interesting to see I don't know if I trust this new Harrison Wells yet. It's funny because they've been burned kind of twice by 2 Harrison Wells in the past. In season 1, obviously it turned out to be Eobard Thawne. And then last season, Harry Wells from Earth 2 kind of backstabbed Barry a little bit in season 2. So what's up with this Harrison Wells? There's something I'm not too sure quite yet. He's a little bit too nice and too friendly for me to accept quite yet, but we'll wait and see. So all in all, guys, I'm going to say this was a really enjoyable episode. I thought it was really fun. And you know what? I'm looking forward to more rogues. Hopefully they give us more rogues that team up with these 2 that we saw tonight, Mirror Master and the Top. And hopefully they improve the Top a little bit. I thought she was a little weak. But other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them again one day. I'm hoping everything continues the way it is. I hope they get back on track on Alchemy, though. I mean, he was mentioned a little bit in the beginning because this kind of felt a little bit more like a filler episode. But I feel like back in season 1, they did want the Rogues to become something more important, but because Legends of Tomorrow happened, I feel they had to drop that idea. But this episode is a potential to bring back the Rogues and do whatever their original plan was down the road. I'm hoping maybe this is going to be the start of setting up maybe season 4 and have the Rogues be the main villains in season 4. Like, have them causing the trouble. I like that they're changing things up a little bit with Alchemy. He seems like an interesting villain. We didn't get him today. We got to briefly see him on security footage that we saw last week. But for next season, it would be nice if the Rogues were actually the main threat of next season, and maybe even bring back Snart and Mick. I think that would be pretty sweet. And maybe Trickster can hop along too. We know we're getting Mark Hamill again this season, so it's going to be really cool. So with that being said, guys, I think that's it. So like this video if you agree with me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I review every episode of The Flash. I've been doing it since season 1 because I really enjoy these shows, these DC TV shows. I enjoy Marvel shows too, but the DC CW shows are the ones that are all connected to each other, and I really love what CW is doing. So, and until next time, guys, until next week, I hope you guys join me. Leave down your opinion at the bottom in the comments section and tell me what you guys thought of the episode. Communicate with me. I like hearing other people's theories, other people's thoughts, things that I might have missed, because sometimes I know I do. And with that being said, take care.